Hey, everybody, it's Fernando from the Rollback Podcast. And today, finally, we are going to be reviewing Avatar: The Way of the Water, or The Way of Water, right? The Way of Water.
Yeah, The Way of Water.
Ah, okay.
Um, the holy shit, it's one of the most expensive films ever created.
How
For
much did it cost?
it's estimated between 350 and 460 million,
Damn.
and that I don't know if that's including the marketing budget.
I mean, was there marketing for this movie? I feel like I didn't see much marketing for this.
Really, dude, I was bombarded all the time on Twitter, on YouTube, on
Oh, that's the
Instagram,
thing.
on
You're on Twitter.
Facebook.
That's why. I'm not on Twitter. Barely even on Facebook.
No, but like on all my social media, I was bombarded with ads, and on YouTube, on Hulu, everything. If there was commercials, I saw an Avatar commercial.
Oh.
But but no. So the Way of Water, which took what 14 or 13 years? 13 years.
Uh, 2009, Avatar came out. So yeah,
Damn.
yeah.
Um,
I
this
think everyone thought it was a rumor. I don't think anyone actually thought like this movie was going to come to fruition.
well, apparently there's going to be a total of 5 films. This is only part two.
Oh yeah, that's the kicker is like that they're supposed to be fucking pumping out 5 movies of this universe. I'm just like, how many? Like I can see one more being pumped out. Fucking 3 more movies.
I mean, I can see it
This is
happening.
Jake's kids going to college. Pandora University. This is Jake's son going through a dry spell. He was fired from work and he's trying to find work. Oh, there's Jake's son about dealing with alcoholism. Oh, he hit his wife. He hit his wife.
Jesus Christ, Fernie. Oh my, why? Why would you do that?
I don't.
Why?
You asked Jake's son why he would do that.
Why? um, huh. Okay. Third. So apparently they've already filmed. So there's conflicting reports from like Bob Iger all the way to like reputable Hollywood
Well,
news sources.
before you say anything, the only thing I know for sure is that they filmed parts 2 and 3 at the same time.
Yeah.
So
So
that I do know. We do know for a fact there is going to be a part 3 because they did film at the same time.
well, according to also some reports from Bob Iger, he's saying that they've already filmed a little bit of part three already. Like I'm part four, I'm sorry. Like they're that far into filming that it's like, no, we've already filmed like some of part four already too.
I mean, to be fair, dude, look at everyone in this movie. Aside from the new actors, none of them are really doing anything to the point where they're like, fuck, I have to check my schedule.
Was it? Yeah.
No one
Yeah.
in this movie is like high in Hollywood right now.
Isn't Zoe Saldana Gamora?
One thing, and she already finished volume 3.
That's true. Sigourney Weaver ain't looking for nothing. Sloane ain't looking for nothing. Kate Winslet like lost another love to the sea. That bitch. Um, God, man, this movie
I
is
didn't even know
just
that was her until I started looking at the cast.
you
I was
know
like, Kate Winslet's in this fucking movie.
someone actually brought up and asked, "Is that whitewashing?" And I'm like, "They're blue. It's not whitewashing. They're blue. It doesn't count.
They're aliens for starters.
They're aliens and they're blue. It doesn't count."
Granted, let's be honest, they took from the Samoan culture.
This one did.
Yeah.
The first one took from like I would say Native American culture. This one
Yeah.
Samoan. Apparently, like the thought process is that each one's going to take place in a different hype like zone. Like there's going to be
Oh,
one
so
in
Jake
like
gets to fuck up other habitats?
yeah, yeah. Apparently, they
Great.
might go to the mountains. They might go to Antarctica. They might go to like
But
the
that's isn't
desert.
that conflicting because this movie ends with him saying, "We are home. We are part of the water people."
I mean, maybe that's the journey is they become part of all the people.
So what is he? Jesus?
No, that's Sigourney Weaver. She's Jesus. She's space Jesus.
All right. We've talked about the subsequent to the film, what happened, why this movie finally came to fruition. I'm surprised this movie didn't come out when Fox was owning it.
I'm sure maybe they were, well, it took time. It took time to finish it. And I'm sure
Ah,
the Disney deal like slowed it down. Also, they had to develop the tech for it. Like James Cameron developed the tech.
really? You thought this one was shot that much more different than the first one? Because I rewatched the first one and I was like, slight differences, sure. Of course, like there's gonna be better camera angles and all that jazz. But for the most part, I was like, this looks almost the same.
No, so apparently what took forever was developing the motion capture for underwater.
Oh,
Like they had
I
to
thought it
develop
was.
that tech.
I thought it was. Here's 9 hours of film. Start start adding special effects to it. I really
Nah,
hope those guys are paid for doing that because if someone imagine if you're paid hourly and like you weren't paid a bonus or you weren't paid more, like the guy's like, hey, I need you to add special effects. And it's not because I'm keeping all of this. I'm gonna start cutting pieces of the film that I don't like.
I mean, if they were paid hourly, they got paid for four times the film in one. Hopefully,
Did James Cameron ever win an Oscar for Best Director?
no, I don't think so. Wait, did he win for Titanic? He might have won for Titanic. Actually, I'm not 100% sure.
I wonder. Because like if he didn't, then that's something Peter Jackson has over him. Because Peter Jackson didn't have to fucking make 9 hours of film for one movie.
Dude, Cameron's been married one, two, three, four, five fucking times.
The
Jesus.
funniest part in 2009
Mhm.
when Avatar was up for the Oscar, his ex-wife won the Oscar for Best Director or for Best Movie. I think it was for The Hurt Locker.
Yeah, I wonder if she looked at him, just maintained eye contact of.
Not only did I
uh,
take your money in the divorce, I also took your Oscar, bitch.
No, he's won for best picture and best director and best film editing for Titanic.
Oh yeah,
He lost all for Avatar for the first one, but we'll see how he does with part two.
he's not gonna win for this one,
I have a strange feeling this one's gonna get all the nominations, but none of the wins.
dude. Think about it. The last sequel to win anything at the Oscars was Return of the King.
I mean, Return of Jake Sully,
It's not going to, dude. Think
but
about it like this: the Oscars have turned into such a horseshit contest of look how introspective my movie is. Look
that's what
how
I'm saying though. Like, I think this
play
movie
the human mind. Like, shut up, bitch.
it is, but that's what this movie is though. Tell me I'm
Is it?
wrong. It's
It's a
examining
popcorn
war.
movie,
It's
dude.
examining the world, the
It's a
fucking
popcorn movie.
activism. It's a very entertaining popcorn film about climate change and social activism. Like, I'm not saying that's a good thing. I'm saying like with all those messages, I think he might get nominated. Like with
Climate
all that
change.
bullshit.
When did they mention climate change? They only mentioned once that the Earth was dying.
Oh, come on, you and I both know that that's what they're doing. We got to re-inhabit this
If it
planet
was
because
about
Earth is
climate
dying.
change, it would warrant more than one mention of the Earth dying.
Because if they mention it too often, you're beating us in the head with it. You mention
But
it
I
at
thought it
least
was about
once.
climate change.
It
Wouldn't that be?
is.
Wouldn't the whole movie be about climate change if it was saying it more than once?
It was part of the subject matter. Yes, I'd
You're
argue.
just backpedaling.
Fuck you. No. But no, but your argument is that well, it's not introspective, whatever. I'd say it is. Like this movie has, to some degree,
Hey, you
it's
know
a
what I
test.
mean when I'm talking about Oscar bait movies. Is this Emancipation?
I mean, I think that one's been
Is this
nullified.
Emancipation? Answer
No,
yes or no.
no.
Exactly.
I don't think Emancipation is gonna get nominated though.
You think, well, yeah, because of Will Smith. But
Uh,
like, when you think Oscar movies, you don't think popcorn movies. That's where the Oscars, for me, the
mhm.
Oscars are complete horseshit now because it's just a bunch of drama nerds fucking patting each other on the back. Oh, you're so good. You're so good, A24. Oh, you're so good.
That we're never getting back to the Oscars, huh?
Like the Oscars have become such bullshit.
I I think you're right. It's more for artistic films, but I'd say this film is one of the ones that could be the exception. Like The Dark Knight was
Hey,
nominated in 2008.
like this would have to be a a stone. This one is like a hard maybe, but I don't see this one making it to the Oscars.
I think it.
Aside from visual effects, costumes, and editing, I don't see it getting into the best director category, best movie. Like it's fucking stupid, man. How much the Oscars have divulged into what they are now. Think about it like this. Do you think Rocky would be still nominated for an Oscar?
I don't know. Today, I don't know.
No, because it's considered a sports movie. And I think it's looked at as below Oscar standards.
Like now, like they disown it now.
Like think about Creed, dude. Stallone gets nominated, but not Michael B. Jordan.
Wasn't that the year that they were like hashtag cancel the Oscars because like they were like
Maybe.
no
I
African
think
Americans were
that was
nominated.
when Jada Pinkett like said that she wasn't gonna go, and people were like, "Who the fuck cares about you?"
Didn't Chris Rock make that joke or was it Kevin Hart?
Yeah, it was Chris Rock.
He's like, bitch, you weren't invited.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's like
but
saying you're
whatever.
not gonna go to a party that you weren't invited to.
Mm. But okay, wait, fucking. Let's get back to talking about Avatar. Did you want to see this film? Like, was it like I can't
Was
wait
I
for
a
it?
hardcore Avatar fan? No, I like the first one. Like, don't get me wrong, I really do like it.
Mhm.
But it wasn't something that I was like, oh, I can't wait. Like, I liked it. I thought it was a good movie. If I have to give my rating right now, I'd say a decent mm, 3.5 out of 5
For the first one,
for the second one.
the second one. Oh, okay. Oh, really? That low? Huh.
It didn't need to be 3 hours, dude.
But what would you have cut though?
Well,
That's the thing. I was
I
thinking
think
about
the
that during the
thing,
movie.
I'm not a director, that's why. But like, I feel like there are some parts that you could have cut or you could have reshot that could have made it more interesting. Like Spider's character. Why
Mhm.
the fuck are you teaching him how to fucking capture those birds?
I mean, kind of. It's that, or go back to the spinny thing and start bleeding from internally.
But even then, he's like egging him on. Jake could have did this on his first try.
I'm
Shut
sure he.
your fucking mouth, Spider. You know
I'm
what? The blue mom should have cut his goddamn head off.
no. I think. Here's I think. He was hoping that his dad would die, like trying to tame the thing. He was trying to
No.
put them in dangerous positions. I think he was. I think he was
If that
like
was
Jake
true,
did it
then
the
why
hard
did
way,
he save him at the end?
huh?
If that was true, then why did he save him at the end?
Because it wasn't until after he dropped the knife when the blue mom cut Spider that he was like, "Oh, my dad does care about me a little bit."
Now, look, see, I saw the movie twice because I saw it with Darian and then I saw it with my parents. The only rationale I can get for why he saved him is because, yes, it does have to do with him and having the knife at his throat, but I think it was because if he didn't take off that knife from Kiri's throat, like he would have been dead.
Mhm.
So you saved my life, I saved your life, we're even.
Oh, that's true. He did leave him in the end. That's
Yeah.
fair.
So I'm like,
Uh,
that's the only reason why I could think of him, why he saved him. Like, you
eh,
saved my life, I saved yours. We're even. We're square. Get the fuck away from me.
I'm still waiting for Blue Mom to give Spider an apology.
She's not.
I think he
She's not.
fucking deserves one.
I don't think he does.
What? For what reason? He was trying to actively help the
If she
kids.
found out that he's the reason why he knew about the fucking birds or how he knew to tame the birds, she'd probably kill him. So
Um,
let's just say bygones be bygones.
just let it go.
Yeah.
Oh man, I would take that little personal. Hey, bro, your mom just tried to fucking kill me. Like as she was going to. Like I feel like my bad is in order. I was in my right mind.
So because we keep jumping off the subject, which is just natural because that's what we do. What did you think of that time jump beginning? Because it starts from the end of Avatar 1. It shows like, okay, Jake had a family, had two sons, that weird adoptive daughter of
Space Jesus.
Don't even get me started on why that fucking character is voiced by Sigourney Weaver.
She is voiced by Sigourney Weaver, isn't she?
Yeah, I know. I think it's fucking stupid.
Why? She played her masterfully. She
No,
played a
she
teenage girl
didn't.
very well.
It sounds like a 60-year-old playing a fucking teenager.
Well, again, she is baby Jesus. All right.
I'm like, you could have easily brought in any other young voice actress. You could have probably even merged the voices together just to give her that hint of Sigourney Weaver. But for some reason, you were like, let's just use Sigourney as the teenager. Granted, I get that it could probably be used for later films saying, oh, she was reincarnated
Yeah.
as her daughter. But I'm just like, she's not Sigourney Weaver because she has her own thoughts, her own feelings, things like that.
Space Jesus. That's all I gotta say.
I
Space
was just
Jesus.
like, yeah, that one I was just a little. The sons I couldn't figure out who the fuck they were. Even when I saw them, like the actual people, I was like, I've never seen these people before.
I could only figure out by their voice. Like that's the only reason I was able to tell them. I didn't hate the time jump. You asked me about that. I didn't hate that. I thought
Well, I mean,
I
you
appreciated it.
need it
Huh?
because if it's gonna have his sons who are probably in their teens, like you can't just be like, oh yeah, by the way, he had kids.
Um, honestly, I was dead set that I thought the mom was gonna die, giving birth to maybe Spider. Like I thought, because we didn't know who Spider was in the
Oh
previews.
yeah, because the trailers never really mentioned as to who Spider was. Like it looked like a kid of Jake's because he and I think in the trailer he's like hugging him.
Yeah, I mean, he hugs him at the end, like this is our family, or whatever. I assumed that the mom was gonna die, and the daughter was talking about the mom. Like I can feel her heartbeat in Pandora. Like I
Yeah.
assumed that. Like that was my thought, but no. So there's a time jump, and humans return because we're sacks of shit, and
Did they say how big of a time jump?
uh, strangely enough, it was 10 years from the time that the humans landed to the
It
war.
was a year.
I think it was a year.
Yeah.
So those kids have to be like 11, 12. Do the Navi age differently than we do? I guess maybe.
They never really mention it. Another thing that they never pointed out, even in the first one, is that the avatars have 5 fingers, while the Navi have four.
Yeah.
They don't bring it up until this movie.
I mean, I'm glad they brought it up. At least they were like, "Oh, you 5 finger freak." It was like, "Oh, that plays a role. I get that. The very slight hints."
Yeah.
Oh wait, no, we're good. Okay. What were we talking about just now? What do you think of the soldiers coming back, like scorched earth policy? Like we're gonna burn this whole area.
Well, now they came back more serious because they're not just coming to steal uh, a stupid metal named what
Unobtainium.
unobtainium.
Yeah.
Wow, very clever.
And now
That's
they're
why you didn't win the Oscar, James.
lack of
That's
creativity.
right there. This time they're there to pretty much terraform the planet.
And they're trying to get the
They're trying to
elixir of
kill them.
life.
Oh yeah, and then like they were like why? Why did they have to add that in there? That was just for the sake of the movie.
Well, no, I mean they had to give them a reason why they were killing the whales.
But they're already there because they're trying to take the planet from the Navi. Like,
Yeah,
why
but
did you have to add in that whole, oh, by the way, these whales, they have something in their brains, stops aging. Crazy.
maybe I think they're pulling a John Wick 2 also. Look, in John Wick 1, it's a self-contained movie. At the end, you could cut it there and it's over, right?
Yeah.
Part 2 expands the story, but also plant seeds for sequels. I think
Yeah.
that's what that is also. Maybe they're gonna come back and be like, no, we want that.
Yeah.
Or there's gonna be a third substance on Pandora that the world wants. I don't know.
That I was just like, and not even at the time of watching it, it's when you mentioned it now, like starting to think, I'm like, they're already there to pretty much take the world and use it as a Earth too.
Yeah.
And oh, but now like there's also this other thing about the whales. Their brain gives us unlimited life.
I'm just like I partially hated I hated part of this one because I hate the imperialism of it. Because in the end, we all know who wins. This is a story. It didn't turn
It's,
out.
they should have done Empire Strikes Back, and it should have ended on a sad note, sadder note.
I mean, god damn it though, man. Like there can't be. Maybe they're worried that if there's too much suffering, that people won't go back and rewatch it. Like, would you go back and rewatch it if it ended with all the kids being killed?
Do people go back and rewatch Empire Strikes Back, and it ends with Han getting captured, Luke losing his hand, finding out his dad sucks. Like
I
it looks
mean,
like the Rebel Alliance is screwed, and
I
it's
don't know, man.
considered one of the best movies.
I don't know, man. I don't know. I'm not doubting you. I'm just saying, like, I think they played it a little
It's
safe.
because there's only two ways a movie's gonna go, good or bad.
Mhm.
Everyone's already expecting good. Like you could have gone the bad route, and if you make it compelling enough, people are gonna like it.
Well,
People like Infinity War.
well, what if Avatar: The Fury of Fire ends like with half of Pandora being scorched? Boom.
Okay.
Jim,
Interesting.
James Cameron, I just gave you your sequel. You're welcome. Where's my money?
Oh, but yeah, like we get new characters like his kids. He has the one son who's like three, three, and then he has the other son who's like a rebel.
I mean, you expect that though
Shocker,
in a family.
shocker! I'm shocked. This is my shock face. Then we have the 14-year-old played by a 70-year-old woman.
And then we have the kid who's just there for some reason.
The annoying toddler, and then Spider. You know what I think is weird is that the scientist, the the one that they say is the mom or the dad of Kiri,
Mm-hmm.
he never did that whole thing where he transfers his mind to his avatar,
Maybe he doesn't want to.
which is weird because it's just like if you're staying there and you quote unquote love these people, like why don't you?
Maybe he can't handle it. Maybe scientific reasons. Maybe the budget didn't allow it. I don't know.
They didn't do it in the budget. Remember
Huh?
they took Jake to the tree and then they transferred his mind to his body there?
No, but maybe he didn't want to do the tree thing, or they didn't allow it because he wasn't
I know,
special
but
like
I'm
Jake.
I'm taking out your budget theory.
I
What budget?
I don't fucking know, man.
Fuck
Blue
man.
CGI. I don't care. I don't
Already
know.
here on Pandora. It's too expensive.
Fuck you. But what's called? Okay, so what did you think of the Water Tribe and like them welcoming Jake's family?
I mean, it's cliche. Like that's how it always plays out.
What do you
Like
mean?
the new kid gets bullied by the by the what's it called?
The chief's
By,
sons?
by the tribe that's already been there.
Yeah.
Like it's cliche. Do I hate it? No. I mean, it makes sense for story wise. It's just, I mean, it's cliche.
What's called? Jake's kids. I love the fact though that they had some like fury in them. Like not fury, they had some like fight in them. Uh
Moxie.
Moxley, yeah. Well, there's a one scene.
Moxie, not Moxley, not the wrestler. Moxie.
Moxie, sorry.
There
But
we go.
when Jake tells him, "Hey, how do the other guys look?" Worse. It was like, ah, I love fatherly pride. Good.
Which I'm like, why don't you tell that to your youngest son, who was the one that started the fight? But you consistently make him feel like a piece of shit for doing so. But the oldest one, you're like, all right, good.
Well, because it's parenting is hard. All right. You already know you got the first one straightened out. You got no beef
Well,
with him.
are you trying to tell me parenting is hard? Are you trying to come at me like you have experience in parenting? You don't have any children.
I have two young puppies. You son of a bitch.
No, you have two crimes against nature.
Go fuck yourself. But look, you need how's it go? How's it go? each kid needs a different approach. The oldest one is pretty much like set, like, okay, I don't have to worry about you. Like, you're responsible. You have your shit together. That's just common fucking sense. You don't have to be a parent to look at them and be like, I wonder who the fuck up is here. Versus the other one where it's like, no, you got to be harder on him because he's sloppy. He's put the other one in danger. Fucking the raid at the beginning of the movie where the older one's like, we're supposed to be scouting, and the younger one says, no, let's get in there. Let's check it out. Like, which is the dipshit you need to watch out for? Come on. You got to be tougher on the one that's irresponsible. That makes sense.
It makes sense, but I mean, that's one of those moments where you're like, look, I know you fucked up, but you did a good thing by standing your ground.
Yeah. Now go say it. Now go apologize.
Yeah, like he should have done that to the second kid. No wonder the second kid fucking hates him.
The second kid needs to get more responsible.
That moment, I was like, he did the right thing defending his sister. Like, I don't give a shit if he needs to be more responsible. That was being responsible.
Did you notice how little Jake and what's Saldana's character's name? I can't remember. And I don't want to
Uh,
mispronounce it.
I have no idea.
Natiri?
Yeah, Naturi.
Did you notice how little they were in the movie?
Yeah. I think this is more to set up the new supporting characters.
The kids? Well,
Yeah.
I saw an article that people were arguing. Well, there was an article that was arguing that in the
People
future
were
Jake Sully should
arguing
die.
on the internet. That's crazy.
I know, right? I couldn't believe it.
Don't tell me that.
But they were arguing that Jake should probably die in the next one.
All right. Jeez.
I mean, Sam Worthington, like, I don't think he's starved for work right now. I mean, I think he is starved for work, so that's fine. I
I
keep
know.
him around.
Way to kill off his only lifeline of money.
Well, if you notice, like the dude post Avatar was like he was in Terminator Salvation, he was in Clash of the Titans, like he was in a bunch of like big franchises they were trying to build around him, thinking that he'd be the next megastar. He didn't end up becoming the megastar that everyone thought he was going to be, but I mean,
Hmm. I liked him in Terminator Salvation
I wish
and
they had
Clash
like
of the Titans and Wrath of the Titans.
I thought Clash of the Titans was way better than Wrath of the Titans, but that's just me. What else? Wait, is Wrath of the Titans the one where Liam Neeson and Hades like go out and fight?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I like the second one more than. But yeah, so this movie, you mentioned I only saw part of the your Avatar review for the first part. You said that you don't think it was fair to call it that the first one's just Blue Pocahontas.
Well, I mean that's a running joke, but any movie you can trace it back to some ancient fucking tale because in reality most of the stories have already been done. It's just changing bits and pieces to make it your own.
Mhm. I so what do you think about this though? Would this it was this a worthy follow up of the original?
It's tough when you're putting out a movie so far away from when the original came out because this is already touching like those old school movies where they didn't put out a fucking sequel until God knows when. Die Hard. You got Independence Day did it. Like it's just it's tough. Godfather did it with Godfather 3. Like
So
it's tough when you take that much of a time off and you're asking people to reinvest into your story when people like the first one, but it didn't have a cult following.
I mean, I remember though, like the year after when the first Avatar came out, I mean, it was in theaters for a long time, and I also remember that there was like lawsuits that were being filed. Like this movie is so like makes me depressed because it's not real. Someone actually tried filing that lawsuit.
People will file lawsuits for anything. It's
That's
a
fair.
matter of it actually goes to court.
Oh God.
But
No,
this
that's
one,
cool.
like, I mean, it was good. Don't get me wrong. It's not anywhere as bad as like Independence Day Resurgence, but I'm just like, okay, it's good. Now, hopefully the third one's good. I just don't see why they're making five parts.
I think the story is all encompassing. Like James Cameron has an idea for the story, and I mean, if he says he can do it, take your best shot, man. Like, I mean, obviously he's not starved for money right now. Like, look at this
What
movie and how well
What do you
it's
think
doing.
of James Cameron as a director? Granted, he has his chops. I mean, he did Terminator, he did Terminator 2, he did Aliens, which some people think is better than the original. And he's done a lot of great Titanic, which Rose is still complete. She's garbage. She's a garbage character in a garbage time. That's I'll say my piece about that. But what's your opinion on him as a director?
Good storyteller.
Okay.
I'll say good. I think he's a better writer than he is a storyteller. I'll say that also. He has some good ideas.
Okay.
I just he comes off at in times during interviews as a bit of an asshole, and
Most of
so.
these old school directors do.
But see, the thing is, I have trouble separating like him being an asshole from him being a good to great director. He did do one great thing though for Guillermo del Toro, which puts me at a bit of an odd because I'm like, fuck it, he's kind of a good guy. Do you know about that story, Del Toro and his dad getting kidnapped or no?
No.
So when Del Toro was first coming up in like the late '90s, early 2000s,
Mm-hmm.
his dad was kidnapped in Mexico, and he was just barely working on his second film, and they asked him for I think $1 million in cash, but he didn't have that money.
Mm-hmm.
Cameron heard about it, went to the bank, withdrew $1 million in cash, went back to Del Toro and said, "Go get your dad back. Here you go." Never asked for the money back. He just said, "Go get your father." So Cameron's not a bad dude. It's hard to do shit like that. I don't know. What about you? What's your opinion of Cameron as far as like him being a director or storyteller?
I mean, he's a good director. Don't get me wrong. I mean, he's obviously has like a track record of classics. Like you can't really say like he sucks at directing. But I'm not like a huge James Cameron fan. Like things because he wasn't a part of my time. I'm more of a Peter Jackson fan than I am James Cameron.
Is there like a thing between the two? Like, is that what? Because you compared him to Peter Jackson more than once already.
Cause I don't know. People can say like, oh well, James Cameron did this with multiple stories, but Peter Jackson took the Lord of the Rings franchise to the top of the mountain, especially for a fantasy movie, which doesn't really happen anymore. And hasn't happened since.
But okay, now let me ask you this though. Like, just on the other side, I would say Avatar might be the most successful original franchise of the last 20 years, maybe more. Because he made Avatar. Avatar was not based on a pre-existing book, comic book, story.
Pocahontas.
Huh?
Pocahontas.
I know the hypocrisy. But he did make this arguably the most successful original film in a very, very long time. Doesn't he
Mm-hmm.
kind of deserve credit for that?
I didn't say he didn't.
But like you mentioned like Lord of the Rings and how that might have been more difficult to adapt. I don't know because didn't Lord of the Rings already have somewhat of a built-in fan base,
Mm,
like a
a
niche fan
hardcore
base?
fan base that if you don't do it right, it's gonna rip your fucking head off. And the Tolkien family isn't an easy family to please.
No, but nonetheless, though, I what's harder though, creating. What do you think was harder, getting Avatar made or getting Lord of the Rings made?
Lord of the Rings made
Why though?
because the original studio that bought the rights wanted to do two movies.
Go on.
Okay, two movies. They wanted the hobbits to die. They wanted to really just not use the books as source material. But Peter Jackson was such a fan of the books. He
Mhm,
loved these books so much that he didn't want to do it any less than what the books deserve.
mhm. So, but he walked. He who had the rights to the film, the studio or Jackson?
Mm, I want to say it was Miramax at the time that had the rights, and I think New Line Cinema bought it from them. And
So,
at the time, his company, Weta, developed the technology on the fly for CGI in that movie. Like they were barely up, they were like a small little company at the time, but now Weta is everywhere. Weta did the special effects for Avatar.
oh, see, there you go. I did not know that.
Yeah.
Um, what's it called?
So Avatar wouldn't have happened without Lord of the Rings being successful.
Wait, you know what I noticed though? We're dancing a lot around Avatar. Maybe that's a damning thing. What'd you think of like the
Ooh, dancing around.
fuck you? So what'd you think of like the spiritual connections and the lore that they're trying to establish? Like the water tribe with their whales, the hunting, the no killing, the
I
Tonuk.
mean, it's not something that they didn't do in the first one. They have a very spiritual connection to animals. Granted, this is the first time that they show like a more intense connection that they're actually talking to this animal, as opposed to before where it was just more like mutual respect.
Yeah.
I thought it was okay. I mean, we all understand what Pandora is. It's like this ever-growing hippie planet.
Hippie planet or like this like rainforest?
Planet, and now it seems more like the planet because now they're doing it in the sea.
I mean, I didn't hate the idea of like the sea tribes and stuff and how everyone evolved.
I didn't say I hate it. Why do
I,
people think I'm saying I hate it?
I'm not saying you hate it.
Well,
You're
then why
mentioning
are you
something. I'm like,
insinuating?
no, okay. Do you think I'm surprised that the tribes aren't more in contact with each other?
That was very surprising because it's just like you all are one people, but you still like are distant with each other. Like
Yeah,
they were making fun of him. You call that a tail?
yeah, shit like that. Also, I did like the attention to detail. How it was like, no, like their water
Interspecies
tribe,
racism.
huh?
Interspecies racism. It's not even something that you can't find on Pandora.
It's really fucking bad. Um,
Look how blue you are.
freak, no, space
And why do
Jesus.
they look like they've been contaminated by chlorine water when they live in the ocean?
You need a way to distinguish them from the others.
I thought the Samoan tattoos were giving away, but my bad.
Yeah, you're bad.
And their hands were more shaped like fins.
Also, their forearms are fucking huge. Have you noticed?
Oh yeah, like it had like a fin on
Yeah,
it.
to make it, I guess, easier to swim and whatnot.
Which did you notice like Jake and his wife was like completely like, I'm not gonna fucking learn how to swim.
Yeah, yeah, she was very much set in her ways.
Yeah,
Like,
she's like, I'm
nah, I'm
not gonna
good.
fucking learn how to swim. Swimming stupid. While
And
Jake is at least giving it the college try.
and gets wiped out the first time.
No, and then she gets stuck in the boat at the end. And it's like, yeah, where were you learning how to swim, stupid?
She got the angel wings. Also, did you find a set? Whose death was the most satisfying for you in this movie? Because I had a few.
Uh I mean the whaler was just annoying, so him dying was fine. Who else?
I really loved it when the whaler died. I'm not gonna lie. I was like, and he lost his arm. I was like, justice.
That marine biologist was a fucking hypocrite. He annoyed me.
I mean, he even said like, that's why I drink.
But I
So
don't care, dude. You're still
that doesn't
good
okay
work.
make it okay.
Quit trying to make yourself seem like a good guy over here.
That doesn't make it okay.
Yeah, like he's like, oh, like I'm just doing this because I love the animals. Meanwhile, drilling into the brain of the fucking whale. He was handling the drill for the whale.
God. Um. Oh, now that I'm thinking about it, how do they discover that nectarine in the whales in the first time? Like, I'm kind of curious. How the fuck did you do that?
I don't know. That's a good question. But yeah, I mean, he's the marine biologist. He's the one that studies these water creatures. So
Hmm.
I'm sure it had to do with him. I'm sure he figured out how smart they were, and they were like, "Well, let's cut into their brains, see what they're doing."
Hmm. But no. So, do you think it was worth it for 13 years waiting for this one film?
I mean, I don't know, dude. You have to ask a hardcore Avatar fan to be like, "All right, you loved the first one. Did this live up to your expectations?" And
You've
I'm
now.
curious. I'm curious if like most of them will be like, "It was good, but didn't live up to my expectations," because you're building so much expectations off of 10 fucking years or 13 years of space. And it's just like, I don't know, dude. For me, I liked it. Did I think watching it twice in theaters was worth it? God, no. It's 3 hours fucking long.
I was gonna say, man, you devoted like a fourth of your day to watching this
Well, it's
film.
because my parents wanted to watch a movie on Christmas and there was really nothing else to watch.
Yes, there is. There's Puss in Boots.
No. I slept through the first hour.
When you want to go watch it with your parents again.
Yeah, I was like, fuck this, so I'm taking a nap. Slept through the first hour, woke up when it started getting good, and I was like, all right.
Amen.
I did see it at Alamo Draft House the first time.
Huh. Okay. I bet that was interesting. How many bathroom breaks did you go on?
None.
Really? You went 3 hours with no bathroom breaks?
Yep. I'm not a child.
I shit. No, I went once. I drank a whole full thing of water.
And that's because it's bottomless popcorn and unlimited sodas.
At the Alamo Draft House?
Yeah.
Why don't we have one down here?
We were supposed to, remember?
Oh, that's where the bistro is, right?
Yeah.
See, if they tried to open it now, it would probably be successful.
It would be successful. It's more it's a better version of the bistro. Like they're taking your order.
Mhm.
Like if you want something during the movie, you click a button and a little red light shows and you write it down on a piece of paper. They come, they bring it to you, but they're like discreet about it. They're not talking like during the movie. Like, yes, it's like you're in a restaurant in the theater.
I've only been to the Alamo Draft House once. It was when me and Nikki were living in Kingsville. We went to Corpus, and
There's one in Corpus.
or it's very similar to the Alamo Draft House.
We went to the
Wait,
one in San Antonio.
no, did we go to the one in San Antonio? Is that what
There's
we
two
saw?
in San Antonio.
We went to one in San Antonio, but they have one, or it's very similar to it in Corpus, where they also do the same thing where they take your order and shit.
Maybe.
Uh, in San Antonio, we saw Toy Story 3.
Yay.
In fuck you, I love that movie. And we saw Birds of Prey in Corpus.
Yay.
Fuck you.
Dude, that
Uh,
movie was just even you can't sit there with a straight face and be like, I'm pumped for Birds of Prey 2.
I actually was though. That's the thing. I actually enjoyed myself. Nikki enjoyed herself, and she doesn't like DC. So the fact that she was like, "Oh, this is pretty good," that says volumes. Any fucking way.
Did you
Uh,
think okay, question back to you. Did this movie live up to your hype? Granted, I don't think you had any hype.
I had zero hype.
Yeah.
I'll say this much: I was pleasantly surprised because I went into this film feeling like it was a chore, and it was good enough for me to walk out and be like, you know what? I'm glad I saw it. It was good. I don't think I'll watch it a second time, but it was good.
You buy it on Blu-ray?
I don't buy anything on Blu-ray.
It's because you're a fucking loser.
No, it's because I illegally download everything. You know this. I don't hide this from anybody.
No, I like having the physical copy.
That's because you're one of those end of the worlders.
But it's funny because I'll watch most of my shit on digital.
I know voodoo.
Like I hardly ever really pop in a DVD and be like, I'm gonna watch this.
But what about you? Final thoughts on this film? Did it
Final
live up to your expectations, if you had any?
it I think it met expectations. I think it was below it or above it. I think it was right on that line. I thought it was good. Um, really hoping the 5 part thing is a horrible joke. I'm hoping that it just ends on the third one. But I mean, I liked it. Don't get me wrong. I feel very comfortable giving it a 3.5 out of 5. I still think the first one was better.
No, I think the action sequences in this one were better. When Jake and his wife are taking and Natiri are taking back their kids on the ship, like those fight scenes were pretty solid. You gotta admit.
It was okay. There actually wasn't that much fighting in this movie compared to the first one.
I no, there wasn't. It was a lot more of learning new experiences and world building. Which I mean, that's what you got to do. Like if you're gonna make a 5-part film series, though, you got to do the heavy lifting somewhere. And I guess if they're gonna do it here, fine.
I think my favorite sequence of the movie was when the whale uh helps out Lonak.
Mm-hmm. Oh, against the shark.
Yeah. No, when he jumps on the fucking boat.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay. I
Because
know
the
what you
guy
mean.
was talking shit and he's like, they've never lifted a finger, but they're hard to kill.
Yeah, and
And then
then
like,
bah.
boom, lands on the thing. And then he's pretty much just taunting him at that point because like he'll shoot that torpedo thing at him.
Yeah,
And like he's like, oh yeah, you hit me, boom, hit it with the armor.
bitch. And then Spider like fucks up the brake control, like goes all the way with it. Smart little bastard.
Spider, yeah, I will say Spider is the one character that did kind of annoy me.
He helped.
Uh, yeah, but he also caused a lot of problems too.
He's a kid being tortured. Come on.
He didn't break in the torture, but then he's like, I bet you can't get that. I bet you can't get that bird.
Well, yeah, they were gonna trank it, and then he was like, "Bet you can't do it the hard way." I guarantee you, he was kind of hoping he was gonna die during it because it is a deadly thing.
And even then, like he was like, "There's a tracker in your mask." I would have been like, "I don't give a shit. I'm still gonna run."
I mean, but could he have ran fast enough to get to Jake in time to for help
Or you kill him.
or suicide? I don't know. I'm not gonna
Stab him.
judge. But okay,
What'd you
let's
think?
get.
I think for me, the most controversial thing that I will just not be cool with is Sigourney Weaver playing her daughter.
How is that controversial though? Like she's just playing a kid
She's
version
a
of herself.
7-year-old woman in a 14-year-old's body. What is this? Shaggy dog?
I don't understand why you're against it. I don't get it.
It
Like
makes like you're listening to it and you're like, that is clearly not a child. That is a grown woman in a 14-year-old's body.
it didn't take me out of the movie.
For me, I
Space
was just like, you could have done anything else.
because
Anything else.
a less experienced actor or actress could have sank the film. Also, you already have Sigourney Weaver on tap. Just fucking have her come back and play it. I have no beef with her playing her daughter. None whatsoever.
Yeah.
I know.
Mm-mm.
All right. Uh,
What do you rate this movie? Because I already gave my rating.
B plus. I don't know if
That's
it's gonna
pretty
be in my.
much what I gave it.
I'm not gonna. I don't know if it's gonna be in my top 10 of the year. I don't think so. Like, there's so many good and weird movies that came out. Like Glass Onion and Violent Night are definitely gonna be on there.
I saw Glass Onion.
What you think?
I liked it. I liked the part, the very beginning, where like they all get that box
Yeah.
and they're all
Oh,
like, "Oh, it's a puzzle." And the what's her name?
Andy.
No, her
No, it's
real name.
Helen. Helen. I'm sorry.
Uh, I can't remember.
Janae Monet. No, Janelle Monet.
Yeah, and she just gets a fucking hammer and bah 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 bah. And I was like, yeah, that's probably what I would do.
Oh, that
The
was a good
ending
one.
I thought was kind of lackluster
This one?
of Glass Onion.
Oh, I didn't hate it. I wish worse shit had happened to Miles Braun, but like I really loved like the whole film because
For
it's a
this
mystery that you can figure out.
movie, the ending, I was just like, I mean, it's clearly setting up for
Sequels.
part two. I just kind of wish that there was less involvement of the media
Mm.
because I'd rather just be like surprised that they're making another movie.
Yeah.
But I mean, that's just the business that they're in today because if they don't release it, then there's no guaranteed money.
I mean, also it's like Disney has another multi-billion-dollar franchise on their hands. I'm just
But that
waiting.
one's a smooth sail. That one's pretty much a smooth sailing franchise. Granted, there is always that little that little nugget of doubt in their stomach that they're like, what if this movie sucks?
What if this is the one that fails?
Yeah,
Well,
like I'm pretty sure they have that nugget of despair in their stomachs every time they release a movie. Like, what if this movie sucks?
well, I know they already filmed part three. I think you mentioned, and they apparently already filmed parts of part four.
Yeah, they
Uh,
pulled a Lord of the Rings.
well, according to Cameron, he said that parts four and five are going to depend on if part three makes money. Parts two and
Yeah.
three make money. Which I mean, if this isn't any indicator to go by, I don't know if it'll break 2 billion, but I think like they are more than happy with how much money they made off of this.
Yeah, I don't know, dude. Ever since COVID, like the movies have just I don't know if it's like you're getting the wool like pulled over your eyes,
Mhm.
but like did you notice before COVID, like you were pretty pumped to go to the movies.
Mhm.
After COVID, it's just like, do I really want to go see this movie?
Not really. Like if it's a movie I want to see, I'm pumped to go watch it. Like I was hoping
No,
that
but not for a movie that you want to see. Like a movie that they're trying to get you to see. Like the movie that you're not pumped about. Like Violent Night, I wasn't pumped until I saw the trailer. If I would have heard that synopsis prior, I'm like, that movie's gonna suck.
Mhm.
But when I saw the trailer, I was like, oh, this movie actually looks really good.
Yeah.
Like for me, I equate it to is it worth me buying that a a a list membership where
Mhm.
you get 3 movies a week,
Yeah.
AMC? Like that's where I think about it. Like ever since COVID, movies have gone so like they've been such in an iffy spot. Like they're really trying to make money
Yeah.
that I'm just like it's tough for me to get into it. Like before COVID, I had the A-list membership and
Mhm.
I was using the fuck out of it.
Mhm.
But like now I'm just like, I don't know.
Well, also take into account, I think, where are we in our lives? You're currently working a full-time job now. Like your schedule, I'd say is a lot busier, than pre-COVID. I mean, it could just be where we're at in our lives right now. For me, there are a lot of films I wouldn't see in theaters if we weren't doing this. But
Yeah.
in that same capacity, I've had a lot of pleasant surprises, like Violent Night, like Avatar. Movies that I didn't expect to love. No, they're pretty fucking good, actually. Um, God, the most random example I can think of is Cruella, for example. I did not think I was gonna like that one at all. That to me was the biggest chore. Turns out, no, Emma Stone, pretty good.
I forgot that was a thing.
Yeah, and they're doing a sequel.
Yeah, I was like, did I dream that?
No, it's because
Or even like streaming now. Streaming now became such a huge thing where people are already worried about streaming taking over movies that COVID only exasperated it.
no, I think also part of it is the fact that like we're living in a new golden age of television now, where you can get a cinematic experience at home with your 4K TV versus going to the movies and forking over like 20 to 30 bucks just for the tickets, let alone the snacks.
Yeah. Well, it's
So
also like TV used to be a place where your career died.
and
Now,
now
now TV is pretty much where you can make some fucking serious cash.
I think True Detective was the first series to really do that though. Like in 2014, True Detective, everyone was shit talking Woody Harrelson and Matthew McConaughey when they did
I
it.
thought I was Walking Dead.
No, no
No,
one,
not
no,
Walking Dead. Breaking Bad.
from movies down to TV.
No, like the real not resurgence, but the real surge of like holy shit, like these TV actors are really fucking good. I thought it was Breaking Bad that really started that, and then it started going stronger. And then when it got on Netflix, like right before that last season aired, that
Mhm.
really ramped it up.
I partially agree with you. I think Breaking Bad did help, but also like I remember reading an article back then on True Detective where it was like, is this the future of movie stars where they're going to go back to TV because there's better money to be made? And look what happened since the first season of True Detective came out.
Mm.
You know, but
But see, I don't equate it with True Detective though. I think
No,
it got more. I think it got more notoriety because it's on HBO,
yeah,
and Breaking Bad is cable. But it's just like I felt like Breaking Bad because Bryan Cranston was getting a ton of awards
yeah.
for Breaking Bad, and Aaron Paul too.
Well, no, I'm not saying that they're not responsible for TV booming. I'm talking about actors deciding that TV is better than film.
Yeah,
Like,
that's because you could flesh it out more.
yeah. Well, I mean, what would you rather have? An 8 hour, 8 episode story where you can flesh out everyone's character more, or a 2 hour film where you got to rush?
Yeah, that's why Stranger Things is a thing.
Nah.
The funniest James Cameron thing. Before we end the podcast, the funny like James Cameron, great director and all that, but you can clearly tell like there were some points of his life where they offered him a bunch of money just to say something nice.
Mm.
And it was when Genesis came out, Terminator 5,
Yeah.
because the whole backing for that movie was James Cameron likes this.
I mean, whatever you got to do to get your philanthropy funded, right?
And he was like, how much are you giving me? That much? All right, I'll say I like it.
I want him to do a book when he's dead, and it's just like all the shit that he has to say. He just lets it out.
Which movie do you think is better? Alien or Aliens?
Aliens, because Alien was never scary to me. Because I had all the scary parts like blown for me when I was a kid. Like it never resonated. But what about you? Alien or
I'm
Aliens?
in two completely different categories. Aliens is an action movie. Alien is a thriller horror movie.
But like, which one gave you the bigger cinematic experience? Like which one gave you more of a experience? I guess that's what I'm asking.
I mean, they gave, but I can't really compare them though, because they both gave me different experiences. Alien gave me that, like, oh shit, like there's a fucking creepy ass alien on this ship, while Aliens gave you that more like adrenaline rush. And then it gave you video games like Alien versus Predator, where you get to play a colonial marine, or Aliens, the fucking game we play.
Hmm. I think I need
Like
to rewatch that series.
it gives you more, it gives you different feelings. Like they're two different movies,
Yeah.
like way completely different movies.
I'm trying to remember, did James Cameron do both the first two Terminators, right? Or did he only do Judgment Day?
Did the first two,
Okay, gotcha.
Terminator and then Terminator 2 Judgment Day.
Yeah.
So you gave this movie
B
and
plus.
which is pretty much what I gave it.
Yeah.
3.5 out of 5. Like I'd
Yeah.
say 4 is a A minus, 4.5 is an A flat, and then 5 is an A plus.
Yeah. Eh. I just I don't know how they could have given made this
Making
movie
me
an A.
think like I gave it such a low score.
Well, I mean, if you do it times 20, you give it a 70, and I gave it like an 80 something.
Whatever.
I just don't know how they could have made it a five or like an A plus. I don't know what it's missing for me to be like, this is incredible.
Shorter,
Huh?
shorter,
Door?
shorter.
Shorter? Maybe, but like all the sequences are so beautiful though. Like especially when the kids fly, like with
I'm
the
not there
whale
to
in the
look
water.
at a movie. I'm
Huh?
there to be immersed by a movie.
Hey, it was a pretty movie though. I'll give it that. It was very visually fuck.
Many movies are pretty, doesn't mean they're good.
Can't think of many movies that are prettier than this one.
Eh,
I'm
I
just
mean,
saying.
it's good. Do I think it's gonna stay in theaters for a long fucking time? I think it stays in theaters until February.
I think March.
Uh,
I'm saying
because
March.
January is always a dry spell for movies.
January and February are dry spells, but oh wait, February is when Ant-Man comes out, so we'll
Yeah.
see. I think March though. I think this movie will be in theaters till March. I think it has a solid 3 months runtime in it.
We shall see.
Well, folks, that's gonna wrap it up for this episode of the Rollback. Please like and subscribe. We'd greatly appreciate it. We're actually growing in viewership again, finally. Um, be safe this new year. Go, don't drink and drive. Get an Uber, get a Lyft, get
But
someone
you always
responsible.
drink and drive.
That's a fucking lie, and you know it.
You said that kid should have been playing in the road, but it was like 2 o'clock in the morning.
Ladies and gentlemen, Fernie is joking.
Kept driving.
Fernie's joking. This is a joke, a really shitty joke, but a joke nonetheless.
It's not a joke, but yeah, sure. If you think it's a joke, I think you think it's funny,
Oh,
which I
I
think is
fuck,
messed up.
I fucking hate you. I hate you so goddamn much. Be safe on New
Did you say
Year's.
you still see him in your dreams?
What do you want me to do with this, man? I can't. Like, I can't. Fernie's laughing on screen right now. But what do you want me to do with that? I can't do anything with that joke.
I don't know. Tell the truth, man.
You fucking
Go to
Fernie.
the police. Turn yourself in.
You're a bastard, Fernie. God.
All right,
Folks,
everybody. This is Fernando from the Rollback Podcast. This was our review and subsequent going off the rails of Avatar: Way of Water. Please check us out wherever you get your podcast needs. Please like and subscribe. You can find us anywhere you get your podcast needs: Google, Apple, or even Spotify. So, this was our review. This is Fernando, and
begrudgingly, I've been Eddie, and this was the rollback.
let's cut it.